Welcome everyone to this segment of the World Business Angel Investors Week 2024 Lebanon's edition. It gives me a great pleasure to host on this segment Mohamed Sabouneh. Mohamed is the COO of Startupbootcamp in MENA, a seasoned professional with a wealth of experience in entrepreneurship, business development, and strategic management. As a driving force behind numerous successful ventures in the region, Mohamed has demonstrated exceptional leadership and a keen ability to foster innovation within a diverse team. His dedication to creating inclusive business environments has made a significant impact on the entrepreneurial landscape in Lebanon and the region. Mohamed's expertise in building robust ecosystems that support growth and development makes him an invaluable asset to any discussion on fostering diversity and inclusion in entrepreneurship. Mohamed, thank you very much for taking the time to join this Fireside chat today on angel investment.
Thank you very much, Suleiman. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and it's a topic I'm really excited about. So I'm looking forward to this chat.
Thank you, thank you. So, Mohamed, you've been really active in the entrepreneurial ecosystem for several years already in different capacities, and you've seen the dynamics through different lenses and angles. Angel investment is gaining more and more traction globally and in the region, particularly there's an observation that it's getting even more active in low-income countries. There are definitely reasons for that, but I would really love to hear your views on the overall topic of angel investment, your observations from the region, and some in countries where you've had first-hand experience in the overall investment landscape.
Definitely. Okay, the first question we always get with our startups: where can I find angels? And I've been hearing the same question with less frequency actually, but still hearing it. So the last 6-7 years, I remember we were trying to look for angels back in 2017-18 when we started my previous venture. We couldn't. That was an issue back then. Now, in the last 2 years, we're seeing more and more angel networks coming up in Saudi, in UAE, in Lebanon, even in the Middle East, and that's really good to see because they're an essential part of that path that the venture needs to take. It's not just money; it's that the angels are usually the first believers in that company. It's more than just a financial contribution to the founders. It's that belief, no, these guys can make it. It's a belief in a product. It's a belief in a vision that these founders have. It's open up their network. So it's usually the impact of an angel investor is just more than capital increase or investing cash. It's access to markets, access to experience, it's access to people. So nobody can argue really that this is not important or as critical. And unfortunately, the way our ecosystems have been built is that you get a lot of these initial grants from accelerators or initial investment. You get a lot of VC early stage, but even that early stage is not enough. So you don't see a lot of VCs investing in MVP stage companies where they can't take $500,000 ticket and they don't need a $50,000 or $10,000. That area, that gap in the market, that's where angels come in, and that's where they're really crucial in taking the startups to the next steps. So as a component, they're essential. I'm happy to see that it's getting more and more organized. It's getting easier to find angels. It's angels themselves are realizing how important it is for them to invest in companies. They're seeing the potential. They're seeing success stories, so they're getting excited. It's a cycle. And the 15 years ago up until now, it's an investment cycle where you put money into companies, you see an exit, then you distribute that money and so forth.
So you still see Mohamed, based on your experience and how the angel investment is actually evolving, you still see the contribution of angel investment more towards seed, or at least this is where it's mostly needed to mature startups before they can benefit from other instruments or other institutional instruments?
Definitely. Okay, you still see some super angels, let's call them, who get into some companies at a later stage.
Okay.
But the majority, if not the vast majority of angels are coming in at early stages.
Okay.
I'm seeing syndicates of 20, 25 angels, each one contributing $10,000 to make up a nice round in the beginnings. And that's where I see the value the most in these investments at the moment.
Right.
Once they get through that stage, they have other funding options that are out there basically. But that value of that, the early value of that, that's where I think the most value an angel can bring into the table.
Right. And based on your experience also, Mohammed, what are the means of exposure that through which startups are actually, you know, exposed to the pools of potential or prospective angels?
Look, there's been a couple of things that I started seeing the last couple of years. One, there's been a more systematic approach to training angels in our region. So
Okay.
we see a couple of programs, I think 500, I think a couple of VC associations, they're doing training specifically for angels. So they're calling them angel boot camps. So
Okay.
these they don't just attract deal flow, because they're out there, they train angels to become better deal makers, to spot a good transaction, to spot a good founder. So that is on one side. So that is helping a lot in giving visibility to angels.
Okay.
On the second front, I've been seeing more and more customers turning into angels. So I saw a couple of instances the last year and a half where the initial or the early customers for startups are turning into angels. Hey, I've tried this product, I really like it. Are you open to allow me to invest in this venture? So
Okay.
that is happening more and more, and I think that's because the people have seen the exits that have been happening in the region. They're exposed to what's happening outside. There's a lot of wealth also generated in the region, either from crypto, from inflow of monies,
Correct.
from business angels, business entrepreneurs themselves who made some exits, PayPal mafia style. So
Okay.
that is the second component where I'm seeing a lot of activity on that front. So between these two things, I think it's expanding the reach of founders beyond their immediate professional or social network to see, okay, where are the angels? I'm gonna go and see them. Um, I'm gonna go interact.
Right. So we might be witnessing angel investment 2.0 in this time, and that is really taking shape only because there is maturity in the ecosystem, right? Because the whole ecosystem is going to the next level of maturity, and there are more startups, there are more you know, angels, and VCs are becoming you know, more selective. VCs, private equity, and the whole community of institutional investment are becoming more risk averse and more selective in terms of the ventures that they would pursue.
Definitely, there's a big transformation happening in the last 2 years. I think for us working within this ecosystem, within this community, sometimes we get frustrated. Things are not moving as fast as we want.
Indeed.
But if we think about it, it's a venture that needs to go through the full cycle, from inception of the founders to the first funding, to the building the product, to growth, to getting through a couple of funding series, to exit. And that takes time. Not mentioning even the training that the founders need to. So the quality of the entrepreneurs in the region has increased exponentially. Investors are much more aware. We're seeing family offices coming into the play. So all of that, this is starting to take shape, and even though we wish that things move faster, but the reality is this is extremely like a big leap that's happened in the last 4 or 5 years.
Right, right. And in general, Mohammed, what assurances would angel investors, you know, be seeking before they jump on an opportunity? I mean, they are naturally risk takers, right? But
Yeah.
everybody requires some a level of assurance, some sort of comfort, right, before they can jump on a deal?
Yeah. It's inherently risky. So they need to expect or have a mindset when that maybe 1 in 10 or 2 in 10 of the ventures are going to succeed or might return and have a decent return.
Right.
That's one. I think that's mindset number one. Then two, I think the legal protections that are in place. I think choosing the right jurisdiction, that's one where the venture is set up. Choosing the right instrument, so either a convertible note or an equity from the beginning. There are practices that VCs do that make sense, but would need to be looked at from the early stage. So vesting of the founders, that is critical. It needs to be fair and takes into consideration that they are super early, but that could be something that we can put in place. Reasonable valuations. I think that is a topic that is always very sensitive when it comes to with the founder. The founders always overvalue their company. The business angels sometimes the business angels need to be realistic when it comes to valuations. A high valuation always 100% of the cases ends up hurting both sides, the angel and the founder. There needs to be a conversation. There needs to be a lot of awareness that brought into the market. Guarantees, there are no guarantees. There are mitigating factors. There are mechanisms you put in place to protect yourself in a way, but there are in this world, in this field, there are no guarantees.
Correct. And there are also different sectors, right? So there are sectors that are more vulnerable or maybe have higher potential than other sectors. So, but angels are, I was having a conversation just a few minutes ago with an economist, and he rightly said, angels are angels, right? That's the reason why we call them angel investors. It's inherent in their mission and in their and the dynamics of what they do, right?
100%.
Indeed. And do you see a level of inclusion and diversity that's being facilitated through angel investment more than institutional investments coming from VCs? There is an observation that angel is always linked to a purpose as opposed to maybe really other types of instruments that are more commercially oriented. Is that a valid observation?
Definitely. Angel investing by nature also is more personal. It's linked to the objectives. It's linked to the personal agendas of the people investing. So some angels might do it just to give back to the community, to the society they're in. So that's one side of it. So that is something inherently diversified. So you look at where you are, and then you try to, okay, what is my personal agenda? What is my personal ambition? I want to impact. I want to leave an impact with people within my vicinity, within my neighborhood. So that is different completely from a person that could be just across the street and have a different agenda. So you see that diversified. The thing is it where we want it to be? I don't think so. I think there still needs a lot of awareness to bring that diversity from angel investing all the way up to a VC institutional.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's and it's worldwide. It's not within the region, just us. Institutional investment has been like club, let's call it. It's a network of
Elite?
people that know each other. So breaking in through that takes time, that takes effort, that takes awareness, and to achieve.
Right. Well, Mohammed, I think we've covered a lot of grounds on the topic. Thank you very much, really, for spending this, sharing your insights on this fireside chat. Any other closing notes that you would like to make?
It's an exciting time to be in the region. I think everything is developing at super fast. So it's the right time to start a company, to invest in a company, to support a company as a mentor, as an employee. There's so many things that we can do. There's so much impact that is left to be done in the region. So just go for it. I guess anybody listening, just go for it.
And enjoy the dynamics, right?
Yeah, 100%.